Okay, so like I thought, this is a 9. It transitions into a 3, so there absolutely should be some transitional metal right here. Shingles are glued down pretty heavily. I think the only spot I could verify that and just be careful about is probably right here. Let's see if we can see it. Nope. So not gonna mess with that. Hopefully there's some pictures showing that they absolutely put transitional metal right there. That's a big deal. So I'm seeing need 1, 2, that's a bent up piece, so I'm gonna say 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. This way. So I see 5 so far. Actually, it might be easier if I just... Let's see. I don't ever like walking on these ridge vents because they can break because they're just plastic. Piece there. That piece needs to get put back. Okay, so we got 5 still. Must have been installing this while it was hot. See a lot of shingles with some granules missing. Sometimes there's, especially if it's really hot, there's not a lot of avoiding that. And then we got 1 piece sunk in there, 1 missing, so 6. All of it kind of needs to get reworked. That's going to be the labor part. Cleaning out the gutters where there's debris. See, there's a little bit of some leaves and stuff. So we got another piece missing. That's 7, 8. Some places we'll have to clean it out right here. You can see, man, I really don't like Owens Corning because, I mean, it's a good shingle to install in the summertime, but it glues down real hard. So that's a pro and a con, because right here, I'm gonna have to try to unseal those shingles so we can get them in between the starter and the shingle. And it's not easy. It really is not. Even right here, that's same thing. And kind of show you on video here, since I'm here. And also CYA, right? Cover my butt. Make sure you understand I'm not doing damage to your roof. Let's see. Yeah, these are sealed tight. Let's see what our putty knife can do if we can be gentle. Okay, so they still pop. That's good. See, I didn't have to use too much pressure. I was able to pop that off of the starter, but that's going to be half. It's going around. And some places it's going to be really challenging because we're going to have to do this, open it, and look at all these granules everywhere. It's just chock full of granules. We're going to have to blow out the gutters. because you don't want to have a bunch of debris in them when you're fixing your gutter guards. And then we're going to have to pop these shingles, right? Because we have to get it in between this starter right here, and then put it underneath the shingle. And that's not even the whole of it. So after we put that underneath the shingle, if we want these shingles to lay down flat, because that's the other issue, as you can see where they've installed it underneath the shingle on top of that starter, these shingles are bowing upward. So now you have it making this dip and then rise again. So it's like a synthetic, in a way, it's a synthetic valley on the eave. So how do you stop that? Well, there's two ways. One way, you get better gutter guards, because these honestly stink. Or we have to just live with cupped shingles, because even if I screw these down, I'm going to screw them down through the starter, and then I'm going to have to seal that screw so it doesn't leak. And I mean, you're still going to have these old mesh type gutter guards that, I mean, it looks like they need to be replaced in my opinion. They're all rusting out. You don't want rusty metal on a new roof going back underneath those shingles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 bids. And just because of the amount of work, really, it's the labor that's going to be the most part, not the material. So we have 8 pieces to fill in for this existing system, and it is my recommendation that we replace it. However, that's up to you. That's your call. So what it's going to entail is, for every linear foot, I'm going to be charging about $5, and here's why. For every linear foot, I'm going to have to unseal these shingles, right? Even on these, I still have to unseal it, right? Because it's still kind of bowing and cupping, and you can see, like, even in places, I mean, if you want this stuff done right, you don't want it looking like that, do you? You want it all sealed and nice and tight. Look, there's a gap right there too. So I'm sure we're gonna have to order more than 8 pieces just to actually make this look good. You know, I think you should have it overlapped if you're gonna use the mesh like this right here. So just to be safe, I'm gonna order, just to be safe, and we can return, but you know, because I do want this overlapped, I want it done right. If we're gonna use this outdated stuff, we need to probably order 20 pieces. I said 8, but I'm gonna double it and add a little bit, because you know, I do want this stuff to overlap, and that's gonna definitely make a little bit of waste. I'm gonna have to cut some pieces, but I'm gonna have to unseal these shingles. So get back to why it's $5 linear foot. I'm gonna have to unseal these shingles, all of them. Then I'm gonna have to clean out the gutters, blow them out, scrape them out, clean them out, make sure there's nothing in them. And in some places, I'm gonna have to actually unbend the gutters, the miter boxes, because they're damaged. Like, I'll show you. Don't worry, I got the shoes on where I won't damage your roof if I'm walking crazy on it. Like right here, that gutter is super crunched in, so I'm gonna have to unbend that, unbend a lot of this after I clean it out. Oops, sorry for a wavy camera. And then I'm gonna have to clip. That's the other thing, I see a lot of clips missing. I'm gonna have to also buy some extra clips, re-clip them into the gutter, into that lip, then put it underneath the shingle, and then I'm gonna have to screw it down, and then I'm gonna have to seal it with caulking. So I'm gonna use quite a bit of caulking so we don't make leaks. And that's, you know, that's gonna be a lot of work. That's for labor. and you're looking at 6-7 hours. I mean, honestly, this is a full day job to do it right. Painting the chimney caps, for me, I'm tall. I can literally access all that right here on the roof. And then this one, I'll just need to set up my 32-foot ladder on the front. And then I'll need to come out, put some safety equipment down so I can put a ladder up on the back. So this one right here to paint it, $100. This one to paint it, $300. There's a lot of labor. I got to set up safety equipment. So it's basically like temporary scaffolding in a way. So $400 for the chimneys to get painted, and then $5 a linear foot for all the gutters. And if we switch, that's labor, right? So that's not including the material, the 20 pieces and the clips that we got to buy and the caulking. And then if we switch, which I recommend, to the better stuff, I'm gonna have to price that out, but there is some stuff that I recommend. It's a lot nicer. It's fine mesh with grooves in it, lays down super flat, and it doesn't rust. So I'll get a price on that too. I'll make 2 bids for you. But yeah, about your roof again, because I've made a couple clips. Just, for your records, for your peace of mind, because I've had to repair roofs like this. Luckily, it's not below a 3, it's a 3. But where it transitions from this 9 to this 3, please, just hopefully your roofer, they have documentation that they put transitional metal here, because transition metal is required. When there's such a steep slope, transitioning to a lower slope, if they didn't do some kind of transition, like, it doesn't even have to be transition metal. That's the best. That's the number one. That's what should be there. But they can also do a liner. If they put ice and water shield, something, anything, rolled bitumen. Hopefully we have something that's covering going up at least 18 inches and going right here at least 4 to 6 inches down from where this line is. And this exposure of the shingle is right around 5.5 inches. So as long as there's something starting from here and going up to here through this whole transition, we're good. Because it takes a while. It won't leak at first, but it does leak. It does leak if it doesn't get done. And I just want to make sure that we don't have that. But all in all, I'm not trying to be super critical of this roof. I don't want to be that guy that gets up on people's roofs and just judges them. It looks like it was installed on a hot day, so there's lots of scuffing. I'll make sure when I'm installing the gutter guards that I'm wearing protection, like these cougar paws, that doesn't scuff up your roof at all. You watched me walk all the way up and down. I didn't scuff it. And, they did a pretty good job. I've seen a lot worse, and looks like you got a pretty decent roof. Hopefully they installed those pieces that I was talking about. And if they did, then hats off to them. That's pretty good work if they did do that stuff. Now, I will say, if they got paid on insurance scope for removing and resetting these gutter guards, yeah, they did not fulfill their part. So, man, they cut that so wonky. Like, again, I'm not trying to be critical here. I'm really not trying to. And they really damaged your siding right here. This was necessary. This is called a kick out. Good job putting the kick out in, but if they're gonna cut your siding like that, they need to at least seal that siding back up, because it's all cracked and cut now. All right, now I'm getting down. I'll make this a YouTube video so you have it, so you can see exactly what happened up here. And Got a little piece of soffit needs to get dropped down. You'll have that for your records and for my records. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to getting you these estimates and hopefully earning your business.